something to say, something to say.
All right, so now, bell cranks, anyone? All right, so, since I have a second to kill, bell cranks are kind of a funky mechanism because they allow, well, it's interesting things happen in suspensions where the wheels of the car, when you're turning around a corner, so this was the car going straight, when you turn, the arcs for the inner radius is actually different than the outer radius of a turn when you're in a nice smooth coordinated turn. So the bell crank is a very fascinating little device because it allows the angle of the front or the inner and outer wheel in a turn to be slightly different. I bet you guys didn't know that. So that's why you don't just have a connection directly to the wheel. You end up having these radius arcs that link things together and then allow stuff to move around. So bell cranks are actually pretty important by that. But also, they're pretty important because they don't allow a lot of movement in the steering so that you can get a nice tight steering feel. At least that's how they're supposed to work. So you also don't want to have a whole lot of mechanical drag in your suspension arm or in your bell crank, because that means that your servo has to work harder. And servos aren't the big dog crazy motors like in the rest of your system. So if you can actually overdrive your servo, and that can be a bad day for you. Okay. So of course, hindsight being 20/20, I probably just should have went ahead and kept the differential off. But you know what? I'm gonna improvise. Okay, so you got the studs down here for the bell crank, and here we have my two bearings. And oh, okay, I was scared there for a second because I thought that my bell crank was cracked. But no, that's just how the stupid thing looks. Yeah. That ain't funny, man. Okay, so to save myself a little bit of effort, I'm just going to go ahead and pull that guy off in the front. So this is the same setup as the others, where it has the little retaining screw. Retaining screw comes off, pulls out the stud. Now this can come off here. Now that gives me enough clearance, in theory, to go ahead and pull this guy off. And of course it does not. Okay. Okay. It's alright. All I have to do is pull that guy off there. Now if you notice, I switched to using my hand tools here just because I'm paranoid and want to make sure that I don't accidentally crack or snap or mess up anything here, because these, as you notice, these pieces aren't quite as beefy as some of the other pieces in the suspension. Okay, so there we go. So now that is loose. And I can pull these off separately. Like that. Now, this is interesting. As you look in here, and other than the fact that there's a big pocket of crud down there, you also notice that this little guy looks like he's pretty good. If I can pull him off. But this little guy here, actually his motion is still pretty good. So it looks like nothing got inside of it. But it's definitely got some surface corrosion on the outside. Come on, you can do it. Okay, this may be where I want to resort. No, I don't want to do that. I want to pull this off by hand. My hands are greasy, so I'm actually putting a little bit of the grease from my hand on the shaft to help it come up. And it's not working. Okay. This is a vice grip. I'm not actually going to grip the race of the bearing. I'm going to just pull straight up. Okay, let me adjust it. So I don't want to accidentally mar the external race of the bearing. So all I'm doing is just getting it around the outside. I can just pull right up. Wow. But it's here. I got it. So now let me just do it on the other side. At some point I noticed that a lot of things in my life that were supposed to be easy weren't, but that's okay. If God made everything easy for you, then you wouldn't appreciate it, right? Okay, so let's try a slightly different approach. Let's set this down, get a little bit of leverage in here. I don't want to put too much force on this thing because I don't want to accidentally break that plastic piece. Now, what I guess I could also do is use like an emery cloth or something along those lines to just kind of scuff up the outside edge here, because apparently what's going on is that it gets up to a certain point and it hits a little bit of a snag. For whatever reason, it just doesn't want to come up. But obviously this thing got on, so it's got to come off. Okay, I'm just gonna, just for the heck of it, try some more of my oil here. Let's go for try. Doesn't look like that's doing it. Alright. I think I'm just gonna have to be patient. Just work it up. There we go. A little bit more traumatic than it needed to be. Alright, so that's the bottom two. Now let's see about getting the top two off. So I should be able to just, now the top two here and right here. Bing, bing. So if the universe likes me right now, I should be able to just reach in here and just pop that guy out. Let's see if the universe likes me. The universe likes me. Well, the universe may like me, but God loves me. How's that? Okay, so this guy right here, again, if you look at it, you can see there's a good amount of corrosion on the outside of it. However, I'm putting it on, I'm sliding it through, and I'm feeling the bearing, and it's still in good condition. It feels nice and smooth. So it looks like a little surface water got on it. Well, a little water got on it and caused some surface rust. But all in all, it's pretty good. So I can't complain. So we put these over here, little ones. Let's save one. So I can click in, just do my little cross check and see that's not it. That's not it. Okay, that looks like it's it. Or is that it? Okay, so I think this actually might be it right here. Doesn't really matter too much, but go ahead and grab my kit. These guys. And now I can use all four. Beautiful. Get this guy back down. And I drop this one here. Come on, there we go. Actually, what I want to do, just to make my life slightly easier, just put a little drop of the good stuff on here. And just make it a little bit easier for this to slide on. Not much easier, a little bit easier. I'm at that point in life where I'm just taking small blessings. Alright, so, yeah, actually, well, I thought that worked. Taking this over the top. Let me put some extra force on it. There we go. I think we'll use the same technique over here. Impromptu rubber mallet. There we go. Let me clean this out. And again, you don't know when the next time you're ever going to see the inside of these parts will be. So it doesn't hurt to just take a couple minutes to try to clean this sucker out. Your car will thank you for it. Alrighty. So I'll put this back together first. Okay, so here. clean. These here, that just sits right on the top. That goes here. Perfect. This guy here drops down right on top of here. Nice. Again, I'm hand tightening just to make sure that I don't over torque or break any delicate components. Now I can put in the two top bearings, which are sitting right here. Now again, I'm just gonna, just because there's a little bit of surface contamination on there, I'm just gonna put a little bit. That's not really doing much, but it's just going to protect this outside surface a little bit. So I got that. Got this guy. All right, so that's all good to go. So it always helps if you finish the job you started before you start another one. It's amazing how much better screws actually go in if you use the right size head. Just saying. And again, I'm being careful using hand because these little posts, they're plenty strong when they're impacted from the side because they're being supported by other things inside the car. But as of right here, right now, with this particular setup, I don't want to screw something up. So I'm just being careful. Alright, so that's all good. So, only thing left to do now is to go ahead and put those axles back in. Alright, so see they've been waiting nice and patiently on the side. Go ahead and pull a little stud out. Okay. Put that here. So now I can feed this through. And there's no washer on the outside, on the inside. So it just slides right up on in. Like this. Right there. Feeds it through. You can see 6 out. That's perfect. Now I can get get this guy down in here and get him on. Gotta turn it to find where it interfaces properly. And once you get that, then you can just push it right on like that. You can see that the hole lines up. So now I get my little stud, feed that bad boy through, just like this, tighten it down. So of course, now that I have done it the proper way, I should have just done this in the first place, so that would have been a lot faster. But, you know, I'm learning too, guys. So this side's the same way in reverse. Just feed this bad boy in. Push it through. You know you're through because you can see that the little eyelet is sticking up here. Now this is the same way as from the other side. And I forgot to clean this bad boy. Shame on me. Alrighty. So, again, to get it lined up. This one's trying to be a little bit more difficult. Says, oh, and before, it must be late because I'm getting loopy. Gotta take out the stud. It won't go in if it doesn't have the studs in place. All right, so pull the stud out. Here, feed this guy on. Again, you have to line it up. So if you give it a little bit of a twist, it helps. Okay, am I on? Oh, almost. There we go. Nope, nope, nope. There we go. There it is. All right, so now line this bad boy up. Got it. Put in the stud. Bolt that bad boy down. And lastly, get my little washer here, put it on, get my little stud. This is where setting even those pliers might be useful. I'm just going to try it by hand. Got it. No, I don't. Got it. And I realize not everyone has my talons, so there's no shame in needle nose pliers. Okay, so this down, line it up, and I can just press it in place. There it goes, snap. That was on. Let's go ahead and do the other side. This is the same process. Put in my washer. Get that guy here. The retainer or the post. Just goes in the hole here. Perfect. Line up in the middle. Put this guy on. Now I can put that click into place. Perfect. So now I line this thing up so that the sway bars can go back in place when everything is together, and this front end is done. Sweet. All right, guys. So this, oh, almost forgot, bumper. So slice in place here. Just up on the top, boom. 2 screws here. Here, up top. Get these bad boys nice and tight. One, 2, perfect. Alright, manual check. And then I have 3 bolts from the bottom. Right here. Use this just to line it up. Get these guys started. Okay, there we go. Again. One. Two. And 3. All right. And just to be consistent, a manual check. A little bit more left in it. All right, so voila, we now have a redone front end with the ceramic bearings. All right, cool. All right, so next up it's time to do the rear end, and that should be quite a bit simpler actually. All right guys, so thanks for tuning in, and please stay tuned for part B, and as always remember to like, comment, subscribe. Alright guys, so front end is complete. So that was a little bit more involved than I thought it might be, just because having to deal with the suspension and stuff like that. But actually it wasn't too bad. So guys, stay tuned, and next up we get to do the rear end. That should be interesting. Alright, so again, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Our House 21 signing off. Remember the mantra: fly, fix, fly, break it, fix it, do it all over again. And we'll see you for part 2. Or is it part 3? Anyway, see you for the next episode. Peace.